So.
Now, me and my brother and my nephew had an apartment together, and yeah, we used a sock or either a styrofoam cup on the doorknob. Don't come in the, don't come in the house.
Don't come in the house.
The bad part about it was I was locked out when I was locked in. So,
Oh
because my,
man.
my brother was getting busy, and and then he didn't care about whether he came in or not. He said, "Just be in your room, then, man. Just be in your room."
Wow.
I said, "Wow."
Breaking all the rules.
Styrofoam cuts just mean find something to do.
Yeah.
Go walk around the block or something.
He said, "Go walk." What you gonna do? Grocery shop?
No, I parked down the parking lot and just waited.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, till he came downstairs and got in his car.
There wasn't no smartphones. You can go check your timeline.
Wasn't no
and nothing.
smartphones back then.
You just had to look out the window, listen to the radio.
What you gonna do? Just read the map? This is how to get down to the other side of the neighborhood.
He know the city real. He know the city real good.
What I'm saying, man, you ain't nothing to do.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? So
Read a good book or something. I don't know.
Their eyes were watching God. I was waiting to get to this book. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Warmup. I'm here with the guys, and we got a special guest. It's me, Chris. Told y'all so. I got Finals MVP. I got Kev RL in the building, and we have our guest Pink Panther in the house, who came to grace us from Memphis, Tennessee. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, what you're about, any other, nice little tidbits of information that you want to share with the crowd.
I'm old. I'm retired. I don't have to give a damn no more. I could just sit here and watch Sports Center all day long and watch Stephen A. Smith call him a liar, tell Max Kellerman to shut the hell up, tell Jacoby he needs to go back to school. I got all this wisdom and stuff up in my head because I played in South Memphis. And we played whatever we want to. We made up our rules as we went along. We didn't care about injuries or anything else. I'm an old school sports person. So I know it all from tiddlywinks to tennis. Okay? So that's what that's just me.
Resident scholar right there. I like the intro.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. This is done. I don't have anything else to say.
I know, man. You can't duplicate
right?
that. That's what I'm saying.
But thank you for joining us. And if you haven't been with us, this is the place where we talk about sports, current events, and everything in between through the lens of Black culture. We here every Tuesday for a drop. And if you're on the YouTube side, check us out on the Spotify and the Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, your favorite platform on the podcast side. And if you want to check us out or if you listen to us on the audio side, check us out on the YouTube, man. We can get some of these outtakes and all the fun antics that we get into so you can understand some of these inside jokes that we've been talking about. So check us out on social media. I think we got the Discord coming up soon. We have the Facebook coming up soon. Anything else that y'all want to add?
Got all of it. I mean, we got a Discord now. We'll put that. Well, yeah, we'll put that link out somewhere for y'all.
Yeah. We'll add it in the description box to the respective platforms so you already know where to join. And again, I'll try to push it out as well. We'll promote it as much as possible so people know where to go, and you can interact with us a little bit more personally and give us your hot takes and tell us how wrong we are, tell us how right we are. Because like I said, Chris told you so. Like I be trying to tell y'all sometimes. So, anything else, man? If not, we can get right into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Get to it.
Okay, cool. All right, well, if you don't know, now you know. The NBA Finals has been concluded. We have some new champs. My Milltown Peeps, Milwaukee Bucks, stand up. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite team. Outside the Grizzlies, that was my second hometown team, and I'm happy to see them after 50 years. The last time they won a championship, Lou Alcindor was the finals. Was he finals MVP or was it the Big O? I don't remember.
I think it was the Finals MVP.
Yeah, that's what I thought so. But I could be wrong. That's why we have a historian here. But anyway, 50 years. 50
we
years
don't need Google.
50 years is a long time. 50 years is a long time, and they finally did it, and they did it the right way. Giannis gave them a 50-piece in the closeout game, along with I think he had a triple-double that game. He had like rebounds, he had some assists, he had at least 4 or 5 blocks. He was terrorizing everyone who came close to the basket, and he left Suns dismantled and licking their wounds. And guess what? Either if you ain't first, you last. So you just like the rest of us. So back to work, as Chris Paul said. And it was a great series. I enjoyed it. And what do you guys think going forward? With these respective organizations, what do you think the outlook is going to be? What are your predictions? Finals MVP. I'll let you go first.
Oh man, I just think the sky's the limit. Both of these teams played phenomenal. It's going to be tough next season. A lot of the teams that got beat up this season get to rest. Warriors are going to have Klay Thompson back. Watch out for that. Like, it's just going to be, who knows what's going to happen next season. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these teams didn't make it back next year, because that's what happened last year. It's a lot of competition out there. You got to think about the Brooklyn Nets being healthy. There's just so many factors. But right now in this moment, great games. Phoenix lost 4 straight. That's a little tough. But at the end of the day, 2 great teams, 2 great organizations. And if these teams stay together, they have legitimate shots. But one thing we talk about on this show is, those back-to-backs, those dynasties. Some teams make it look easy, but it's going to be hard. Like, LeBron wasn't able to do it this year. Let's see if the Bucks can do it. That's just where I'm at with it.
Okay, all right, cool. Pink Panther, what do you got to say on this agenda?
Well, congratulations to the Bucks. They, it goes to show you that you can't value a championship. Brooklyn spent all kind of money.
Oh yeah. And about the first time or the second time?
For this year.
Oh, okay.
They paid a lot of money, and you have to have players that are wanting to play. Kyrie Irving's head was not in the right place at all this year. Harden, well, he thought that the best way for him to get out of Houston to go to Brooklyn was not to do any workouts or exercises or what have you. When he started playing that extra weight, I knew it was going to be a problem. See, I'm a big man. I know that big men wear out some knees. Knees and big guts don't go together. And so anytime you have a waist size that you put the satellite around just to measure you, that's too big. And so I knew he was going to have some issues. And whether it's his back or his knees, it don't work. And then you got KD, and then you put all the pressure on him, and eventually he's going to try to carry the whole team because he doesn't complain. But when you don't complain and tell somebody that you hurt and you just try to play through it because you got 2 other lazy, sorry, well, I'm going to try to be nice, but and you try to carry everything, and it don't work. It just don't work. So you had, they're going to have the same continued issues next year. And I don't see the 3 working out myself. I personally don't. Milwaukee did it the right way. They did it from ground up. They stayed with Giannis. They helped him to improve. And even coming down the stretch, all of a sudden now he's hitting free throws.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
So you're right. But you know, I look at Philly. They are a good team, but I've been telling people for the longest, Ben Simmons is not the truth. I mean, he's very athletic, but he don't want to work on his game. And you got to stay in the gym, and somebody should have been whipping that behind to make him get off in the gym. So, and then I look at Miami. Miami has the basis of a good team. So when I look at the East, it's going to be hard for Milwaukee to repeat next year.
Do the 76ers have like an old head? Like, Miami has Udonis Haslem that could just in the gym, he's not going to let you just not work on your shot. Like, do they have that person?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. Philadelphia, well, and I think that's the big problem, is because sometimes when you pay these athletes too much money too soon, I'm in favor of, if you want to get somebody a big contract, you make it get fatter at the end of the contract period, not at the very beginning, and make them have to earn that money. When you sign a contract, if you sign somebody to a $180 million contract for 3 years, and you're going to give them 60 or 70 million in that first year, what's to make him really put an effort in? I would tack on incentives like, okay, you will get this extra 10 million if we get to the finals, and if we get this other 10 million, those types of things. They do it in the NFL. I just don't see. I don't, and they do it in the Major League Baseball too. But I just don't see. To me, the NBA is too player driven.
Definitely.
Because they're controlling everything, and I like the amount of, I like them from the point of view of being able to have some control. But you bargained away too much in an attempt to appease everybody, and it's a tough balance. But I don't even remember what the original question was.
The question is to make it so the Suns. So we said the Bucks is probably not going to make it. Suns.
The Suns. I'm looking more to the Jazz. I feel that the Jazz is going to be the team to beat. Next year.
I'd love to see them. They were tough
in the West.
What about the Nuggets with the healthy Murray too? That's another team to watch.
I like them. I like them too.
Yeah.
The West. Everybody is beating up on each. Everybody.
Yeah.
The best games all year long are between the Western teams. And I know I love my Grizzlies, and I've always said I wish that we were in the East. If they just put us
playoffs every year.
We heard that from Chris. We've heard the Chris comparison of that.
The most Eastern West Coast team in all the land.
That's what I'm talking about. We're east of the Mississippi River.
Exactly.
So, how come we can't be in the East?
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to count out. I don't know what kind of moves the Clippers are going to make next year, going into next year. But if Kawhi stays, they really need. I don't know. it's hard for me to put my finger on what the Clippers need. But out of the West, I'm looking at the Jazz next year. I'm looking at the Jazz, and I'm a Lakers fan too. I love me some Lakers. But and maybe if Chris Paul come through and decide that he's going to go to the Lakers, that may be what they need to get them over the top. But I don't know.
Can they afford him? Can they afford Chris Paul?
He may have to take a cut.
Yeah. If he really wants
But
that
if he
ring,
wants
he's
the
right.
ring,
He wants to, because
Yeah.
he's making these moves like he's looking to get the dollar sometimes. So
Yeah.
Maybe he made enough dollars, and maybe this is the time where he's like, this is for the game.
Yeah. and see, and he's worried about. I think that Chris, he's worried about his legacy now, because even in his prime with the Clippers, couldn't get the job done.
Yep.
And you jump out there this year, jump out 2-0, and I told folks,
Yeah.
that's all that.
Yeah.
I said the shots ain't gonna fall. They gonna get comfortable in Milwaukee. They gonna figure
Yeah.
it out. They gonna put
Yeah.
PJ Tucker on them. They
Yeah.
could put all tall people, limber people on Chris Paul. Make Devin Booker beat you. The role players aren't gonna close and away in Milwaukee. They're not gonna hit those shots they were hitting in Phoenix. And then it's gonna become a war, like again, it's a strategy, a chess game of moving. Like who's going to make the other team play the way that they want to play.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee made them play the way that they wanted them to play.
And they had
tall.
And they had way more height on the roster, so Aiden was tired, bro.
Aiden
That boy
was tired.
he couldn't do nothing.
And inexperience.
Aiden want to go back home.
Because after a while he acted like he was shell shocked.
Told you.
You could have bought somebody out the
He
street.
did.
I saw that.
He did. You saw that in his face.
Anytime you catch the ball under the basket and you looking for people around you, that means you're already spooked. Because normally you just go up. It's the same thing for Ben Simmons.
He got Giannis on this side, Lopez on the other side. It was a lot to deal with. It was a lot.
It was a lot to deal with for him.
You 7 foot. You go up anyways.
You go up. That's right. You go up
and get fouled.
And the one thing about Giannis, and I'm gonna bounce out. I'm gonna listen to y'all. But Giannis he performed as though no one could stop him.
Mm-hmm.
He was acting. He reminded me of Chocolate Thunder. Darryl Dawkins.
Yeah, Darryl Dawkins. Chocolate Thunder sounds familiar.
He would turn, and he didn't care if you was between him or the goal or not.
Yeah,
he was
going.
going.
Yeah.
And his little spin move. Okay, how long does it take you to figure out that this is what he gonna do?
He do it every time.
Yeah,
can't stop it.
And that's if I sat there and watch him coming across from right to left, I know if he's approaching me from the right, he's gonna spin. Mm-hmm. What I would do is I'd sell out every now and then and predict that move where the ball was gonna be on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And step into it. And even if I didn't steal the ball, it would let him know that I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's not so comfortable going to the basket.
Right.
Yeah, think twice.
Right.
Yeah, think twice.
And in today's NBA, you also could just get in position and take that charge.
And take the and that's another thing I can't stand about today's thing. And like I said, I'm old school.
Yeah,
I'm old school. And if I don't see no blood, ain't no foul.
Yeah.
If you don't show me no dislocation, ain't no foul.
Yeah.
If I don't hear knuckles crashing against somebody's skull, ain't no foul.
Yeah.
If your lip is not swollen and bleeding, ain't no foul.
Yep.
And now all you gotta do is just fake it somebody. And I'm sitting here looking at these repeats, these replays. I said, where's the foul? Where's the foul?
They be
It's
selling
a-
fouls, boy.
It's the epidemic
Yeah.
because I remember one time we were playing street ball and the dudes wanted to call the offensive. There ain't no offensive foul in the street ball, man. Like, what you
No,
doing?
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm like,
Man.
yeah, it was a foul. I'm not gonna lie, like it was a foul, but you're not gonna get that. Nobody's gonna respect that. You
Exactly.
don't want to call it.
Exactly.
Right.
Your respect means something on the court.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
And you know, and so if you coach a team, you remember that drill, Patrick, I used to make y'all do?
mm-hmm.
Pink panties.
Yep, pink panties.
What's that?
What
Joe?
I would do is I would have the whole team at the end of the game, and actually I didn't make up the drill. It was made up by a former coach at the University of Memphis by the name of Tre Price. And what he used to do is he would have somebody shoot the free throw. Everybody was in the paint. And in order for you to not have to continue, is you have to get a rebound or take it or steal it or however you got it and then shoot it up in the paint. And so when if you got hold to the ball and you shoot up and you get and you hit your 2 points, then you go somewhere and sit down and you rest. The last person, the way Tre Price used to do was they used to have to wear pink panties at the next practice. So that's the reason he called it pink panties. And so I used to make Patrick and them do that.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, y'all call him Christopher.
It's all good. You can call it. It's all good.
Yeah, figure that out.
It's all good.
Yeah.
They know who they talking about. They know who they talking about.
Chris,
So
I'm
what-
listening to the story and I'm hoping you went undefeated.
Oh,
Yeah.
bro,
No.
I never lost. Why you think I'm so good at rebounds?
but nobody on our team complained about somebody fouling them. They just want to stop no game talking about somebody hit me. No, because during practice they be beating each other up.
Yep.
You know, it taught you to be able to go up strong with the ball. And I don't care who was on the bench. I had one parent that was there at the practice, and her little son that was. Have y'all seen the television show Young Sheldon?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, this little boy reminds you of Young Sheldon,
Yeah, he was a little boy.
and she gonna pull me to the side. Coach, don't you think they be a kind of rough? You know, and I told her, hell no. You know, but you know, he learned to get tough with everybody else, and I didn't have to worry about my team shooting up in a crowd, going to the hole in a crowd. Don't worry about getting hit in a crowd. Focus on your shot in the crowd. Nowadays, these players can't do that.
No, they don't want to get touched. Look at Kevin Love.
They don't want to be touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So.
Me, Kevin Love started out in the paint though, and then his career shifted to the outside. But man, maybe he got too touched up. Yeah, that's the point.
Kevin Love, Anthony Davis. Everyone goes further and further away
keep
from
going
the,
out.
from the basket. Yo. There's not people who just operate under the rim. Like,
Maybe it'll shift. Like maybe you'll see like these players that are big getting further and further, and it's not gonna be so tough in the paint. So they're gonna start getting more comfortable coming back in. Maybe it'll be a shift.
Well, they already started
Okay,
that
dude,
now.
you're right.
Yeah.
They've already started that now.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that I'm gonna be a big man and allow somebody to drive the lane.
Yeah.
I think that's
Like,
what Zion
and-
doing right now. Like he's sticking in the paint and he's gonna muscle you down. He's like, man, I'm gonna make my living down here.
And Embiid too. Embiid's a pretty tough. Like I saw
Yeah,
him
Embiid
bullying
is that way.
Gobert.
Ooh,
Like,
Yeah.
It's tough. He is tough.
Yeah.
So Kev, man, real quick, you got anything you wanna say with regards to the results of the finals and how
A lot of
things
the
playing?
points was touched on already with respect to like what's coming up next. the whole landscape will matter what's coming up next, and they named a lot of good teams to watch out for, namely Jazz. I was hoping for them to get further this year, and
Yeah, me too.
didn't make it. So I'm still looking for them to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And Lakers, we're gonna see. We're gonna
Yeah.
see what they put together. You never count out LeBron. He had an injury this year, so things got a little shaky. But let's see what they do, man. Suns gonna have a hard time because the West is just there. It's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
It's just tough. And the Bucks, I'm interested to see if Giannis is gonna really put his head down and make that repeat, or at least play the way he's been playing that super hard game, or if he's gonna ease up on the pedal a little bit. If he keeps his head down like he's been doing, it's gonna be tough for him. But I think he still got a good chance because this whole series and the series prior, it was all perseverance. It was all like getting through these tough roads, and when you go through that, it builds something in you. And now he's a champ. He's no longer just, he's a champ, and you get a little bit of boost from that champ status.
Yeah.
And you can play like a champ, and people are going to approach you like a champ. So it's going to be tough on all angles. So if he steps up to the plate like he's always been doing with all the challenges that he's been experiencing, coming through with the free throws in the last game there, sky's the limit for that dude, man. He's a hard worker, and that's going to take him everywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
His mindset is definitely beneficial too. I heard his answer to that question. He's talking about, hey man, I just focus on what I can do right now. Put the ego to the side. That's the ego talking. Focus on what I can do right here in the moment. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I like his mindset. I think he has one of the best mindsets, at least with how he responds to media questions, and just kind of when they want to be like, oh, it's almost time. It's almost the closing time. Are you gonna, how you feel, or what about that block? You're like, hey man, talk to me about all that. I just want to come. Look, ask me how I feel right now. That's it. I can tell you about right now. I don't care about the past. I don't care about the future. Job's not done, which I think is going to be an undying quote that a lot of NBA players are saying. Job's not done, because I think Kobe said it. LeBron said it. Even Booker said it. Chris Paul said it. Job's not done, right? So, I think that's a sentiment that is going to permeate for years to come. One thing I do feel is going to happen is I think we're going to get into this place where, because there's a lot of skilled teams. I mean, 81 could have took it. It was basically a war of attrition. I think what's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves at this level of parity, because at this point I think we are in a very, we're in a state of parity right now where we didn't see these teams coming out. There's people who got injuries. There's things that happened that you couldn't, predict. And then you had Ben Simmons. Like no one thought that was going to happen, right? He just decided he didn't want to shoot. A lot of these unforeseen things, happened in the playoffs, and I mean, it could have easily been the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs. It could have easily been, the Utah Jazz if they didn't have any injuries. I think in the end of the day, we may start seeing this war of attrition from both sides, where the teams are so good now, and it's going to become such a level playing field that it comes down to who's the healthiest squad. Every team that went down, for the most part, had some injuries, outside maybe a couple or whatever, but for the most part, everyone was injured except for the young Suns and the Bucks, who they could have been injured. Like Giannis was injured for a couple of games, but he came back,
played through it.
But he came back, so I think that's what we're going to start to see, man. Is these
semi-related. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
Real quick. In the world of right now, with these mega teams and three-headed monsters and trying to get all the talent in the world, how do you explain the parity that's happening right now?
There's just a lot of talent, man. Positionless basketball. Everyone's trying to find the new formula. I think the formula used to be get the tall guy first. And then Jordan came. Then it became get the wing guy who can score pretty good.
Then Curry came.
And then Curry came, right? Now it's like, get people who can shoot. I don't care if you're tall or short.
Trey had a run.
Yeah.
Trey had a run.
Yeah. So I think part of that is just the evolution of the game. And so I think everyone's starting to get the same kinds of skill sets. And it may still start to, cater towards height. Because if you was 7 foot and you could dribble like a point guard, you got vision like a point guard, then why would I pick you? I mean, why would I not pick you or pick a person who's 5'10" or 6 feet when I have a 7 footer who can just pull up from half court? Like,
Yeah.
So I think it's still gonna go back. It's gonna reset, but I think right now we're at this parity where everyone is, has to be a shooter. You have to be offensively capable. You can't just be a point guard where you can just call the play, run the play. Now you gotta be the point guard. You gotta call the play. You gotta play make, put people in the right position, score, keep everyone honest. And
these tall guys could shoot too, man. Jokic and Embiid actually could shoot.
Yeah. And then you got to find people who are going to be fast enough laterally, because that's the thing. Pick and roll is king right now. Who has to be able to take the roll or take the pick and do the switch. Or
your Adebayos, your Draymonds. So, like, you're seeing so many interesting hybrid players now. There's so many different people who are being really offensively capable and stepping up on defense too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think about the old, just 10 years ago, right? I mean, 15 years ago. You usually had this one dominant player that just no one could really match. So whether that was Tim Duncan, who was just so fundamentally sound, you could never reach Tim Duncan's level because he's already there. He's already past you. He's already left you probably at this point. You had Shaq, who was just big. He just knew how to use his size. And there's other players who just had these dynasties that just they don't go nowhere. You don't have. It takes a while for those things for those people to kind of either come down or for the lead to catch up. I think there's special cases where, like I said, Tim Duncan and Shaq. You're not gonna find another Shaq. You're hey, we need to find another Shaq to graduate college so we can match him up. That's you can't coach height. So I think that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna find ourselves probably doing some, going back towards height and things like that. So I don't know. That's my guess on the parity thing.
To answer your question, I was gonna say, you also got to look you can get top heavy too, the balance. What are you giving up to get these superstar teams? They give up a lot of depth in the roster where, maybe if one of your guys went down, next man up, and their bench players would score enough points where there wasn't such a heavy load on the main squad. So I think that's the balancer too. What are you giving up to get, the big three or whatever? So I think that's a big thing. I had one more slightly related question. I wanted to get your thoughts on this Pink Panther. What do you think about the play-in tournament? Talking about next season and opportunities to come in and everything like that.
I don't like the play-in tournament.
Oh, wow.
And the reason I don't is because it doesn't really reward a team to try hard enough to make the first 8 spots. I think that the only reason that the league did it, even though they denied, but they did it to have more playoff games to make more revenue.
That's a fact for sure.
I'm glad you didn't say Pelicans.
And see, some teams just, to me, if you can't play 500 basketball, you don't need to be in the playoffs. No way. If you can't win at least half your games, then I don't care if you are the 8th or 9th or 10th, you should have been in the play. According to the system now. So you playing, and you go play into a play-in tournament. Then if you get past that other losing team, so you got 2 losers. And
That's harsh, man.
I don't care how many times a loser beats up on a loser. You still got two losers.
Yeah.
So you're gonna allow a loser to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so what happens if you're a number one seed and you play a loser who don't have nothing to lose? They're gonna be the ones that's gonna go all out and injure one of your players. You injure, say LeBron. If the Lakers had to play the Pelicans, and they get there and Zion runs over LeBron. LeBron twists his knee, and okay, that messes up the Lakers for the rest of the playoffs. And LeBron still, and the Pelicans still don't win the damn game. See, to me, if you can't play at least 500 ball, you don't need to be in nobody's playoff. I mean, and the play-in game to me is just an attempt to make more money.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I enjoyed the play-ins.
Yeah, I did.
I enjoyed the play-ins because my Grizzlies was there.
Yeah.
So we had to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
But then we're still no match for Utah.
Yeah. So if you was, whether you was ranked 8th or you were ranked,
you were 8th.
And y'all were above 500.
Yeah, we were.
And Utah was just a tough team.
Yeah. So most 8-seeded teams and 7-seeded teams don't get out the playoffs anyway, out the first round anyways.
Right.
So I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It didn't matter if it was, kind of how things fell in place, because historically those are highly favorable towards the top seeded teams.
Sure.
And this was a very interesting case study for that, because you had a team that was the favorite slip into the play-ins. So that could have made something very interesting if they were able to recover. Like, sure, they might have fell due to injuries, but like maybe they would have never made the playoffs, but now they would have a chance to play in if they did get healthy at the end.
Yeah.
That could have made a whole different story if the Lakers beat the Suns in the first round.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge.
Yeah.
Right. And who was it called themselves throwing one of the late games?
The Nuggets.
Huh?
Allegedly the Nuggets, right?
I thought it was the Clippers.
It was the Clippers. Because it was
Oh
one
yeah,
of the LA
right.
teams.
They wanted to play. They wanted to play the.
They wanted to avoid
the Mavericks, and then the Mavericks ended up putting a pause on them. Luka was killing them.
Yeah.
Luka was shooting from the bench.
Yeah, Luka was lighted up, but I do agree. Like, I don't like the whole 500, like you 455 and you make it to the playoffs. But it's traditionally been the East, and then on the other side, the West, it'll be 10 teams, all like the top 10 teams. You 10th place, but you 3 games over 500. So that's kind of why I like to play in, only because like it gives an opportunity for those teams, specifically for the West. But like, I mean, it's not that the East can't do it too, but they just need to win games. I don't know what's going on over there.
It's just not happening.
Those bottom teams, the bottom teams in the East, really just be scrubby.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Some of the top teams are scrubby looking too. So
I know, right?
I mean, because I like Miami, but I promise you, sometimes I wonder, why do they even come to a damn game?
Well, you do have a resident.
I thought maybe
season. I'm agreeing with him right now. It was a tough season.
Fans had words for them though. He had words for them throughout the season.
Huh? We got a resident Miami.
Oh yeah.
You had some words for them because you were disappointed.
It was a tough season, man. They just had a lot going on between early with the whole Jimmy Butler COVID stuff, and then they just never seemed to get on track. So
and then y'all let that guy say that racist stuff.
Myers Leonard, but he was already on the bench. They gave up some players to get something. The Oladipo thing didn't work out. I'm looking to next season. Yeah, looking to next season.
Sound like a Cowboy fan.
Yeah. But I'm really pleased with how Adebayo's developing and the consistency there. I
like Adebayo.
Yeah.
I like
Yes.
him too, man.
And in fact, that Africa has now become the source of new talent because the NBA has invested in putting together a league in Africa, and that's one of the reasons that Nigeria beat the U.S. in one of the exhibition games, and because Precious Achua from Memphis was playing on the team, and he was interviewed, and he was kind of excited about it, and he was saying his year in the U.S. helped him to develop his skills.
Wow.
So they are putting together some serious talent. Uganda, Nigeria,
Cameroon,
Cameroon, and is it Cambia? The Cambia?
And where's Bobo from? I forgot where he's from.
I don't know.
Hey man, can we have an anti-poaching between Miami and Memphis? When you mentioned Precious Achua, I was like, that's another one, huh? We done took Drake Crowder, Precious Achua.
Yeah.
Y'all took a son Whiteside from us too, man.
Iguodala.
Iguodala.
Yeah. Oh no.
He wanted to leave.
He wanted to leave. In fact, we didn't want him no damn way. With his attitude.
Yeah.
Runs in the family.
Forever and a day. Every time I see Iguodala.
Right? It's on site.
So real quick, man, I got one more question, then we can move on, man. Do you guys think? I mean, this Twitterverse be out here, man. They suggested that possibly Giannis Finals MVP and championship, the way he went about going down that path, it's more valuable, it's worth more with the hard work and dedication that he put in than KD's, 2 final MVPs and 2 championships with the Warriors. Do you guys think this is just fluff? This is a non-factor? Kev, do you think this is nonsense? We're making something out of nothing, or this is about?
I wouldn't say it's nonsense, but at the end of the day, when you say worth it, like is it more valuable or to who? At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like
to you, it's all subjective.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, to us.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I like it. I like Giannis' way. If I had to choose which way I would model, if I would follow, I would follow Giannis' way. You know what I mean? Personally. But I ain't gonna be mad at KD for making whatever moves he's made and got where he got. But at the end of the day, I think Giannis sticking with that organization that groomed him, that stuck with him. He also got that big Supermax contract, and he delivered. He's like, y'all pay me, I'm staying with y'all.
I'm showing up.
And I'm showing up. So I love it, man. That's a good story right there.
Yeah.
It's a better story.
It is a better.
It's a better story.
I think it is a better story.
Yeah.
Objectively, it's a better story.
Finals MVP, you got anything?
I would say it's a better story, but I just really do like how the breakfast, like just watching the team, watching it play, just watching that level of talent play off each other and just seeing all that happen on the floor. I do like seeing that, watching the Warriors play. Like I did like seeing that level of talent and watching it flow and work. And, like we said, there's pros and cons. They had to give up something to get it. It's not just like, okay, you have all this talent. So they made role players step up and help. And sure, it's easier with superstars, but it's still, when you have it clicking and everybody's on the same page, it does look great. And I think I said it before on another podcast. I owe Giannis an apology. When he said he's staying in Milwaukee, I was like, boy, you crazy. You don't take that money and go win a championship somewhere.
He did. He went back home.
Because Middleton was not doing it. Like he gave you one game when he went down last season, but for the most part, he was a little passive.
Yeah.
But man, and you know, he still ebbs and flows now, but I feel like he's stepped up, you know, and when it mattered.
Yeah, he wakes up when it's the time comes.
Yeah.
And you know, they made it work. They made it happen.
Yeah.
With that addition of Drew Holiday. So like I think also like he invested in it. You had everybody come in, buy into the program, not give up on it, and the organization got a piece that fit with Drew Holiday and made it work.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I mean, I think both are true. You still need that extra little talent, or whatever. But you know, it's a much better narrative, a much better story.
Okay. All right, Pink Panther, you got something?
Yeah, and basically I'm the same way. It is a feel good story, and I think that they did it the right way. Is, you know, you groom someone and you allow them to grow, and then you build an offense around them, and then you put in the pieces. You know, I think that's the way it should be done. That's the old school way. A lot of times it takes a longer time than to do like what the Nets did. You know, you get this all-star and this all-star and this all-star. Just because you got all-stars don't mean they can work well together. But if you put players that honestly get along well together, that play well together. I don't care what number one say. The reason that San Antonio was on a run for such a long time is because Popovich built the team, and with Duncan on one side and the Admiral on the other side, and Tony Parker running everything. You know, it was a good balance, something that he put together, and it lasts. And usually if you do it that way, you have fewer problems with egos, and you're not going to have problems with people leaving just to chase something because you would have put in the work to get it right there. So,
but sometimes they're chasing the money, because I took the sacrifice of like Ginobili. You know, put that ego to the side. He could have been a starter anywhere.
He could have, right?
He could have got that max contract somewhere. He's just like, no, I'm gonna stay. Imagine if Harden stayed with that OKC team.
See,
doing that same thing, he would have had a ring already.
Yeah, he would have had one by now.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, some folks chase trophies, and then you have some people that chase stats. And then you just have some people that just want to win.
Yeah.
And in the case of Michael Jordan, he wanted to win.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't worried about money. He was, and for him to be, he was a loser unless he brought home the trophy. Once he developed that mentality and started bringing stuff home, you know, that's what it was all about to him.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess we have different methods of measuring success, and some folks measure it by their bank account, and some folks measure it by their statistics.
Yeah.
Some folks, you know, Chris Paul is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But more people are putting pressure on him about getting the trophy.
Yeah.
And that may not be what's important to Chris.
Yeah.
So, you know, not everybody can get the trophy, but you can have a good career and still be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, you know, Giannis has already cemented himself in history as being one of the few players, I think it's 3, who has the Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and that he's in there with Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan. So that says a lot about kind of his accomplishments, his work ethic, to be kind of in that same room as those 2 other cats. So we'll see, man. He's only 26, 27. He got at least 10 more years.
At least 10 more years.
As long as he's healthy to finish writing the book. So we'll see, man. Stay tuned. Congrats to Milwaukee. And we'll put a pin in that. We're going to move on to the NCAA. If you haven't heard, they finally allowed, after much pressure for like decades, to allow for their collegiate athletes to make money or have the opportunity to make money and generate revenue off their likeness, their name, their appeal, their individual ventures, so on and so forth, which was prior to this year, was a NCAA violation, which could get you suspended, like Andrew Wiseman. So the Michigan State University retail store, who's known for selling probably tons of jerseys, saw this and is trying to get ahead of the wave as soon as possible by allowing for collegiate players, partnering with collegiate players to sell jerseys, and they both take a profit or a cut of the revenue. So this is probably one of the first things. It's still changing. It's very brand new. We don't know how the thing is going to bear out. But do you believe this is an option or a path that collegiate players should take, or should they just consider going through their own independent route, whether they go through a reseller or go through another brand and create their brand outside of the school and sport, and have the school take no money that they've already siphoned from so many collegiate players. So Peak Panther, I'll start with you. What do you think? Do you think this is going to be good, or they should look at both options? What's your take on this?
Well, again, I'm old school, and to me, college is supposed to be as an opportunity to learn, and athletics should have been one of the methods of getting a free education. But I don't believe that colleges have a right to prevent me from making my money on the side. Because you making money off of me.
Yeah.
You selling tickets and you selling jerseys with my name on the back, and pictures and autographs and everything else, and I don't get a cut. And just because you allow me, you paying my tuition, you giving me a place to eat and food, and but then you will keep me out of class so that I can't really learn nothing. So you benefiting, and it's not really helping me. So no, you need to give them a chance to earn some money. If you making money off of them, they should be able to make money off themselves, unless you're gonna get them a percentage of it.
Yeah, which is what Michigan State is trying to do.
Yeah, and so I think it's only fair. But what's gonna happen is the big schools are gonna get bigger. They're gonna make even more revenue, and the smaller schools, because they're not gonna be able to match, or the public is not going to be as supportive or buy jerseys. Say, for instance, if you went to Lemoyne College, or you went to Jackson State, or if you go to one of these Division III schools, and you're not going to be able to make money selling jerseys as you would being at Michigan. So therefore there's no parity. So it's like I'm torn. I hate that it is an issue, but in the meantime, you don't want the players, see, because I was always in favor of players getting paid, period. Way back in the day, if you didn't want, because boosters would have been doing it anyway. They've been paying the players, buy them a car, and then sit there and tell them, or sit there and report it as this person is working at Hertz Rent a Car, and this is part of his deal is he's working at Hertz rent a car during the off season, but they're gonna allow him. No, you bought this dude a car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the big universities are doing it, and so it's just a matter of making it fair for everybody. So
Yeah.
Out of all fairness, they need to get paid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the bottom line. They need to get paid.
Okay. Kev, you got something?
I mean, that's a good bottom line right there, man. Like, you need to get paid. So I say, look at both options. Going back to the original question, should it go to an owner or
Should they go?
to
Yeah.
school? It's about what you can. At the end of the day, you're getting paid, right? And we want to get paid. So which deal makes the most sense? Equal air, as we've talked about. So it's like, let me listen to all y'all. Let me see what you got for me. Put your presentation up. Put your proposal up. And then I'll see what's going on. At the end of the day, it should be what's best for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's about time.
Yeah.
How can you be making money off of what I do?
Right.
And I can't do anything to it outside of you. Nor can I get a cut of what you're doing inside.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. That's just restriction upon restriction upon restriction. You need to free them up, and I think this is a way to free them up a little bit. Maybe more changes to come, but look at both options, man, and make the best decision for you. And if that money is your bottom line, you know what to do.
Yeah. All right, Finals MVP. I know you don't even like college sports, but being sports being in college. But go ahead, man.
I agree with that one. I think as long as it's not like a 360 deal or something where it's like your outside ventures, you got to also split the profits. I also like that they said they were like it's gonna be equal, so the same amount per jersey sold. So if it's like 25 cents, 25 cents for everybody. So it's not too much favoritism. So it sounds fair. So if you wanted to go do the deal there and then still go make your own custom jersey and get 100% there, that sounds like a good opportunity to me. Why not just do both? One thing I would find interesting if they're doing it with this custom jerseys program, if you opt out and somebody does your name and number, are you just not going to get paid, or like where does that go? I wonder how that goes moving forward. But I would just go ahead and just do both if I was a player. Get this school money and then go, get into your creative juices and start your own branding.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I said branch out.
Yeah. I think I lean maybe because it's the historical, just like I know what they've been doing for the past 40, 50 years. I'm just so like, no, I'm good because you guys had a chance before, and now that this opportunity has allowed for me to make my money somewhere else. Now you want to come to the table. Maybe it's just me. I feel a little bit more like if the best, I'm agree with you. If the best option is to partner with them, totally fine. Have no problem. Do what's best for you. But if I can go and find a way to generate my own brand and my own ventures aside from you, and you don't get no cut off of it, outside of like the ticket sales, because you can't control that. But I would definitely try to see if I can find ways to keep them out as much as possible, just because the precedent before this has always been against the players. And if the violations weren't so like strict where you out for the rest of the season because something that happened 2-3 years ago that you had no idea, and all the like the red, yellow, and blue tape that goes along with the bureaucracy of NCAA. Like, if I didn't know that I couldn't sell my Nike shoes at 14 that someone gave me because I felt like, hey, I needed to eat at the time, or whatever the case may be. Like, if I knew it wasn't so strict like that, then maybe I'd be a little bit different. But for right now, I just feel like they're trying to get in front of all of this by being the first one at the table, and they want people to sign now because they don't want they want you to feel like we're doing the athletes a service, and you're not. You're just doing yourselves a service by trying to sell jerseys. You can't sell jerseys without me signing off on it. So it's just like, well, if you sign this paper here, we'll let you go to school. What? No, that's not how it works. So to me, it seems very undermining of a lot of people's intelligence. I feel like at the very least, I would be asking for more than that. Like, what you gonna bring to the table that no one else can do? I can't do for myself. Give me one of these branding deals with a local car shop. Give me a car, like whatever the case may be. Give me some food I can't eat. Like, let me have this lifetime Chick-fil-A pass. I can just go to Chick-fil-A, except for on Sundays. Like, just do something more than what you've already been doing. Like, this is the bare minimum. So
that makes sense though.
Hey man, if you really want to cut them out, just don't go to the school, Chris.
Or just don't go to school. Go, you know what I'm saying? You can just work out if you can afford it. I know that's a pipeline. We talked about the pipeline.
Yeah.
If there's a pipeline for you to not go to school, and that's what you want to do, you want to play professional basketball, and you know that, then get a trainer. Just work out all the time as much as possible. The only thing that sucks about that is you're probably gonna go undrafted because people are not gonna see. It's all about competition, right? So you can look good on the court when nobody else is playing.
But visibility, visibility,
visibility, or just competition. I can compete against myself all day. That's nothing. But if I can't compete with the best talent, then it's a lot of scouts will look at it as, oh well, how does he play? Even Ja Morant, that was his big critique, right? Oh well, how will he fare against the big school, major schools, that talent, because they're playing against each other. You know what I'm saying? So Duke and North Carolina play all the time. Kentucky is always in the mix. Like those big programs, Kansas, those are big programs. They always find those out of conference games to build up their strength of schedule. Yeah, and that matters in drafting. So that would be the only drawback. But I mean, if there's a pipeline and there's a way to get through, and people have done it before, and you want to bet on yourself, I'm not gonna knock it. So you may have to be like Chris Middleton, just come in through the G League, which is what
G League, baby, G League. Yeah. Oh, so he was.
He won't have the brand name though.
Wait, hold on. He went through the G League, like all the way. Drafted from high school.
He played. He was undrafted. He played with the Mad Ants. In the G League, and he came in through the ranks that way. So
there we go.
There you go. You got one MVP. You were looking for one too.
Hey, we in there. That's all. And once you got one, you can make two. That's all.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see, man. The story, the saga will continue. We'll see how this thing shapes out. I think the college starts in a month. I want to say basketball starts in 2 months. But football starts in a month, so we'll see. So moving on, NFL. That's also starting in a month. I would say like 2-3 weeks preseason.
Yep.
And the NFL has already got stuff stirred. They stated that in the event that any COVID outbreak happens within a team that jeopardizes the game, to where a game has to be canceled, the team that has been infected is forced to forfeit that game. They're saying they're trying to make it safe for all the players, and I guess this is a respect thing. Like, hey, you could choose to not get the vaccine, but this is kind of like the risk you're taking with doing so. And obviously, it's gonna get some backlash. I believe DeAndre Hopkins already said, the NFL's making me choose between my team and, my choice to get vaccinated or whatever. So, what are y'all thoughts on this? This is a hot button topic. It has been since the Trump era.
Just to add context, I think they also said the penalties will be more lenient to teams that are vaccinated, even if there are breakthroughs in spreading.
Oh, well, interesting. Yeah. So they're favoring the vaccinated. I don't even know where to start with this. What are your thoughts on this one?
I don't know where to start either, because the first thing I thought of, safety. Yeah, sure, you have to put that first and foremost. And when I thought about the game being canceled, I thought less safety at that point. I thought, oh man, that game is not going to get aired. That's revenue. So I see you being penalized for losing us revenue more so than I'm penalizing you for safety, because at the end of the day, canceling the game is for safety. The game is canceled. You just can't play. Everyone's safe at this point. The penalty now comes in that I think it's connected more to the loss. And they say, okay, we lost, you're gonna lose too. I'm just speculating here. We lost, you're gonna lose too. So but definitely safety, I think, should be at the top of the priority list. And if this is the method in which they see to go about to be the safest, I don't agree with it, but that's how they're dropping it. Favoritism to one thing over the other. Choose vaccine or choose your team. I'm not sure that those are the options, because they're worried more about the outbreak. And I think it shouldn't be synonymous that if you're unvaccinated, that equals outbreak. So I don't know if it's a natural choice between your team and the vaccine, like the player said. It could become that choice, but I don't know if on the base of it all that's really what the choice is. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of ways to look at it, a lot of angles, ways to twist and turn it. But those are my two things that I heard while you were speaking, though. It was like, for safety, that sounds good, but canceling the game has already made it safe. And then two, when he said that those are the two options, I don't necessarily see that as being the two options, but
Is the penalty specific to the team or to the players individually? Do we know how that works out?
I have no idea. Again, this is some brand new. This is some brand new information. So
I saw team fines. I didn't see.
Probably it's probably a team fine.
Probably team,
yeah.
So
well, let me say this.
I think Panther's
It's
ready
all
to go.
back. It all comes back to the money. Don't you remember last year when, who was it, Pittsburgh?
And Ravens?
Yes. And the game was canceled. I think that was like a
Sunday
Thursday night game.
Okay.
And then the following week, Pittsburgh and somebody else was canceled. Then they start moving the schedule around. And then when you go to talking about missing a Monday night game, we're talking about major money. Major money. And when they started having to reschedule, and then team owners started getting upset because their teams were ready to play, but the other team wasn't available to play. And then you start having crunch time getting close to the playoffs, and everybody busy rather than having some rest time that their schedule had been allowing for prior to the playoffs, a week off here or a week off there. You know how they rotate weeks none were available, and then having to go into the playoffs. See, that's the reason Kansas City lost.
The O-line was decimated.
Yeah, their O-line was in shambles, and it was worse because they couldn't schedule any days off. And more teams were forced to play games just to play them to finish out as much of the schedule as possible. That was revenue. And then when you start talking about someone mentioned where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need to have an asterisk by their win in the record books after winning the Super Bowl because it came during a pandemic season and you had this and that and the other going on.
Oh man!
You know, again, it's all about the money, and so owners started blaming other owners, and when you get the owners fighting, ain't nothing gonna get done. You know, so I will have to wait to see what the new ruling and mandates are going to be, because if everybody's not vaccinated, and even if everybody's vaccinated on a team, that's not going to guarantee that there's not going to be an outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could have the coaching staff
Yeah.
or workers in the stadium
Mm-hmm.
that maybe become sick. If the facilities are tainted, they can't play.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, I wouldn't want to play in Florida if you paid me. I promise you, I wouldn't.
Another jab, man. You getting all these jabs today. You know,
I would not play.
I'm repping Oakland now.
I would not play, and I would think twice about going to LA. You know, it's just something. You know, I just go to thinking about it, and I just feel like stuff just crawling all over me. But it's all about the money, and they think that they can force the players to take the shot. And to be perfectly honest, you can't. My thing is, if they don't want to take the shot, just don't let them play. They don't play, but then obviously it must be some high-profile players that's in that bunch too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, if you're a bench rider and you don't take the shot, fine. You know, sit your ass somewhere and be quiet.
Till somebody get hurt.
Till somebody get hurt. Right.
Nobody came to see you, Otis.
Right. Yeah. You know, but if you're a third stringer, you know, if you just somebody that play on the practice team, and you know, fine. But I really just think it's about the money again.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really blame them, because especially like players like as much as I hate the New England Patriots, when they decided a lot of them wasn't going to play because they opted out of the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can respect that. And at least Belichick knew, okay, this is what I have to work with.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
but these folks that don't, you know, they want to get paid. I just have to put that condition on it, and I would worry about fighting it in courts later on, and it might not be heard in court for maybe 2 years. You know, that's 2 seasons. You could have gone on about your business, found some replacements, drafted some replacements. You know, so that's just my take on it.
Yeah,
I ain't
man.
gotta make them kind of decisions.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff is true though. At least I believe it's true. Number one, our NFL last year, the season was all over the place. People was canceling games. We was having Tuesday night games.
I was like,
I think we may have. We may have had one Wednesday night game. I was like, man, ain't no one trying to watch no game on no Wednesday.
Right.
Like, you know, it's not called Wednesday night football. So it was. I'm sure it was frustrating for the players because, you know, maybe something unforeseen or something that they couldn't control, or maybe something that they could control, and it's just, you know, they happen to catch it, you know, being reckless or whatever.
Yeah.
That caused a missed game, which means now your practice schedule's messed up, your rest schedule, like usually the day after the game, so like if it's a Sunday night game or Sunday game, Monday they rest, they don't do anything, they just rest, and then Tuesday get back into film and prepping for the next Sunday. It messes all that up. And I want to say towards the end of the season, people were sitting down, like they were throwing in second and third string players just because
to rest people. Yeah,
to try to get some rest in as much as possible. So I mean, I should think about it from a logistics standpoint. You know, you have people ready to go on Sunday, and then you tell all the camera crew, the staff of the stadium, the fans, come back in 3 days, or come back. We'll tell you when to come back, but not to come back. You know, not to come now. And so it was just really, it was just they did the best they could. It was just a mess. I mean, it was just as bad as the MLB the last season. They were all over the place. People were canceling the games. But the thing is about them is they got 182 games. It don't really matter if you miss 1 or 2 games.
Yeah. It's
Right,
16 games.
It's
bro.
16 games.
And that cameraman might have a job on Wednesday, like somewhere else.
Exactly.
Like now he got to pick. Like
Yeah.
that's
So,
man.
I mean, I look at it from a logistics standpoint. The fact that, you know, everyone has the opportunity now to get it. If you choose to opt out, it's your decision, but you understand that that decision comes with decisions or repercussions and consequences. So you just have to be okay with it. If Hopkins is want to contemplate retiring because he don't want to get vaccinated, he doesn't want to put his team at risk of losing games because of his choice, then that's your choice.
I heard he deleted that tweet immediately because somebody tweeted out that if he were to quit, he would have to return $30 million.
Ooh.
And that tweet was weird.
Hey, that hit different. Yeah, that hit different. He ain't
I ain't taking that.
I mean, my take on the whole thing is I think y'all got the nail on the head. I think money is a big motivator there. And I think it's a shift in liability because like you guys said, like everybody else was prepared and stepped up for the moment. You know, people have time. You got to respect people's time. I think some of these players, like sure, there's vaccine hesitancy, but there's other ways. They're not saying you can't play. Like you can continue to, you know, isolate and just be safe. You don't have to completely be, you know, locked in your apartment. You know, you can continue to wear masks, wash your hands, and all the other guidelines. This variant's a little more dangerous, but there are ways that you can maintain safety and also not be vaccinated. That people who make the kind of money they have available at their hands, they could do if they really want to. I feel like with a lot of these people, they really just want to have their cake and eat it too.
Right.
They don't want to get the vaccine, and they also want to be in the club. They also want to turn up. They also want to do this. They also want to do, like, they're really just not. It's almost just like you're being rebellious for no reason. It's one thing to not want to take the vaccine, and you know you have to respect people's decisions. But like you guys were talking about, a lot of the players on the Patriots before there was a vaccine were just like, this thing is serious. I would rather choose to opt out of the season. That's my choice. I'm not going to put myself at risk if I feel like it's a risk. So if you really think this vaccine is so detrimental to your health and you still feel like you want to maneuver the way that you want to maneuver, you can opt out of the season. I'm sure the NFLPA has negotiated for some people to opt out if they need to. That will obviously, if you don't work, you don't get paid. But if your main concern is not taking a vaccine, then that's available to you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, or you can be like Joel Embiid. Remember when he came to the bubble and he had the whole hazmat suit on? If you really want to be cautious, be cautious.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So,
definitely. You should.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
see, these guys, I think some people feel like the freedoms are being taken away, and that's although that's not the case. Like it's social responsibility. That's the case. Or you can look at it both. It's social responsibility and your freedoms. So it's like they're like, I'm making a choice not to take this thing, but I want my freedoms. So yeah, they want their cake and eat it too. But it's like your freedom. So it's like it's hard to like see that as a cake. It's hard to see that as something I can't eat. It's like, nah, I'm just making a choice to not do this. What do you mean I can't live my life now? Right.
But just think of it like if you got the flu, if you have a really bad virus, let's just say you have a really bad virus, you're really sick as a
Ebola
dog.
or something like that.
Yeah, let's say you have the Zika virus or you have the Ebola virus.
All three of them.
You got the monkey flu out, the monkey pox is over here, man. I saw. Let's say you got the monkey pox, right? And so if we want to navigate at our own discretion, because if we had to go to a 9 to 5, they had to go to a 9 to 5, and they had monkeypox, and they were full blown, and they told them to come into work. Guess what they're gonna do? Oh, you making me come to work? I'm sick. I'm dying. What about me? Blah blah blah. Right? But in this case, flip it. Now we're just saying, okay, you're not sick. Let's keep it that way. Oh man, like you really want me to just take the vaccine so I can come into work? Like I want to come into work and I want to not to take the vaccine. If I get people infected, you know, not my fault. And then something happens, then you're gonna look like Rudy Gobert, like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I wish I had known. No, you did know.
Yeah.
You got all the information that you need. Like, what more information is going to put you over that hump? But I mean, that's why I just say at this point.
And I think he did a 180, and I think at that time he really didn't know. Like,
yeah, he did.
We were.
I don't think.
No, I'm saying like we were hearing things, but like that was the first day. Because if we really knew, we would have been shut that whole NBA thing. It's like when he was the first positive case that we shut. Like it was still like people were like hearing things, but it wasn't like real over here in the States yet. Yeah. Like we saw like a story with the cruise ship. You would hear like these little things here and there. It wasn't like, all right, we're checking CDC every day. It wasn't at that point yet. Yeah. And I think even if you look at him now, like he never got in no safety protocol after that whole thing. Like I'm sure he switched tunes and took it very seriously once that happened. Yep. So I just think, I don't know, there's freedom. I can see that, but you're also, people who have that mindset also don't think about other people's freedoms. Like if I don't want to be exposed to that, at least like, you know, there's places that are gonna be like, if you want to get in, you have a vaccine card.
Exposed to what though? Because that was going to challenge the case that Chris brought up, because you're not exposed to anything by being around an unvaccinated person. You're not exposed to anything.
Possible
potential,
potential exposure.
Yeah,
and the potential exposure is there even with the vaccinated person too.
Correct. So that's my point. So we gotta be careful about what we compare these to, because it's things that you know. Like I know I have the flu. I know I have smallpox. I know I have Ebola.
Yeah.
This is what you know. We can't really like compare that with what's potential. Like I'm unvaccinated, so I have a potential, so let me treat it the same way. That's tough. If we have to go with that mindset, we all would be in the house curled up, because every time we walk out there, there's a potential for life to be lost.
And that's absolutely true too. But I would say the main difference is that's very true. The point I'll bring up is you could be doing that, and for the most part, you could be following all the other guidelines of don't do this kind of behavior, don't engage in this kind of behavior, limit your to 2 household gatherings and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah. Some of these people are out here really doing the most, like on top of each other, taking no precautions. I don't agree. Also, don't want to get vaccinated. So now I got to treat you like, is that potential? Your potential is very high. It's a very good chance that you've been in a high risk exposure, and at that point, we should, as collectively, should be able to bucket ourselves and be like, you know what? I'm gonna chill from y'all for 10 days because I know I was doing something crazy.
Yeah.
And it should just be like, you should just, as a human being, you should just know, hey, you know what, Grandma? I know Thanksgiving is this weekend, but I really just I had to turn up. I can't be in the house like that.
That's the social responsibility part, and which is why it ain't nothing is ever one thing. We could go on and on, because if anything is one thing, then it's always easy. It's always easy. But because it's multiple things, your value system, your perspective, your situation, where you are in life right now, your temperament, all of this is gonna matter with how you're gonna react, what you're gonna put out there. So because it's all these different things is why you have all these different situations, people behaving in these ways. Like, I'm with you though, finals. Like, I don't think they should be doing that. I think you should live according to your decisions. Just live according to your decisions.
100%. That's what I agree with. But also to caveat that, I try not to judge people too hard, because this is not a natural way of living. Nobody deserves to catch it. I don't care if you turn it up or whatever, or you stayed in the house. Nobody deserves to catch it. Nobody did. I know there's a lot of shaming going around when people do get it, don't get it. Nobody deserves to get COVID. We shouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, we'll see how the NFL will handle this situation going forward, and who becomes more vocal. I don't know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers will be out here like, you know what? I'm gonna take the season off. I don't care about the Packers anyways. So we'll leave a pin in that, and we're just gonna wrap this up. So sign offs. Kev, you got anything you want to say to sign off?
And I appreciate our guest Pink Panther coming through. That's first and foremost. It was a pleasure, and it was I think it was one of our best episodes. If I want to be too forward, you know, because you put a lot of good comments out there. I appreciate the old school view on things, because I rock with that view sometimes too, you know. So I appreciate having you on the show, man. And it was a good night. It was a good night. So blessings and give thanks for that.
Cool. Pink Panther, you have anything to say? Our guest.
I enjoyed it. I always enjoyed talking sports. And like I said, I get here every day and I argue with Matt. Hey, they just don't hear me. And if they ever allow me on there, they probably won't allow me on there one time, and I'd probably be sensitive. But I'll be just like big
Charles Barkley.
big
Swagoo.
a perk. Big
Oh,
Ken
Perk.
Big
Perkins.
Perk. Oh,
You know,
Hey, we got
you
a
know,
Perk fan over here too.
I just throw it up to say carry on.
you know Rachel. You know we had so many Perk fans in the building. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Perk be on to something sometimes, man.
Something. Yeah.
Well, that's the way he used to look, and that's the way he used to play basketball.
Yeah,
so,
he be on to something sometimes.
Dang.
Some other times he don't know what he doing.
boy, Perk is clowning just like he used to do on the floor and talking more smack. But he didn't. He would get mad and he'd run over you and everything else. So I like me some Perk. So yeah.
Cool.
But thank you all for having me, and I'd like to join y'all every now and then.
Yeah. We got a spot we can always free open for you, man. We told him to
okay.
go. We told him to just stay at work.
Oh,
No, he's not even a fan favorite. We just have him on. We need 4 people.
wow.
Jab.
Yeah.
He said jab, uppercut.
Oh
Like the
man.
last bands of NC. Anyways,
It's like new edition already. We ain't even make it big
We
yet.
just started. Yeah, we
I
just
know, right?
started.
nobody came to see Otis. I keep trying to tell y'all.
Oh, man.
Finals MVP, man. What you got?
Thanks, Pink Panther, for coming through. We really do appreciate the basketball historian over here right off the dome. We don't need the Google. We don't need the stat sheets. He was there. He lived it.
Yeah.
That was really fun and great topics. So, I mean, I hear Kev when he says this might be one of the best episodes. So, follow, subscribe, hit that like button, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Discord. We trying to hit you every kind of way. So just keep rocking with us, and we're going to keep trying to grow this thing further.
All right then, man.
Definitely. And this is Chris, because I told y'all so, man. I told y'all the Bucks was going to win. I called it. And, big ups to Milwaukee, man. I know they haven't had a championship in a long time. Baseball, I mean, they ain't got a football team, but, they was out here starving, so I'm happy that they finally got one. I'm sure Water Street was packed. I'm sure downtown was packed. And so yeah, man, I'm happy that they were able to bring one home. So I mean, all I got to tell you is do it again, repeat it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The saga continues, it never ends. And so yeah, Pink Panther, appreciate you coming, gracing us with your antics, your loquacious attitude, and some of the back in the day. Remember when Patrick used to do this?
I hadn't told him the good stuff yet. But we'll hold it for another time. We'll hold it for another time.
And it's just the beginning.
Yeah, they told me I can't play defense. I was just like, y'all don't know. They told me I can't play defense. I said, man.
Hey,
okay.
man, what you showing us, Chris? What you showing us? That's the question.
Hey,
Wow.
hey.
Okay, you better be. You better don't be
maybe
disappointed.
I just played to the competition. That's probably what it is.
Whoa. Okay.
I know you're talking about me because I'm no offensive player. You're not playing.
Yeah. I know. No, you work the glass, so I gotta box you out.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely enjoyed this. This probably was one of the better ones. As Finals MVP said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell us what you like, what you don't like, engage with us, do all that fun stuff. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. All that stuff is in the description box or is on the channel page. All that stuff, all that jazz. We probably gonna take a couple of weeks off. In fact, we most likely gonna take a couple of weeks off just because we want to come back and retool, realign, and make it a little bit better, polish ourselves up a little bit, man. I may have to go back into my my jersey store and get get these jerseys.
You still got access. You had to renew the subscription.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you want access to it, let me know. You know what I'm saying? So
I appreciate the offer.
Okay, all right. So other than that, man, I'll let everyone go, man. Y'all have a good evening, man. Until next time, guys. Peace.
All right.